longer I have my disability, the more comfortable I become and the more a part of my identity it is.
But I just wish that I would have known that the things that I enjoyed before and the way that I was before, it was all going to be the same.
The beginning of FacingDisability.com comes from my family's desire to try to do something for the families of people with spinal cord injuries. When our daughter Vicky was injured, we felt alone. 26 years ago, my stepdaughter Vicky dove into a swimming pool and broke her neck. She fractured her spinal column. She's what's called a C5 quadriplegic, which means she has very limited use of her hands. She can move her shoulders and no use of her legs at all. When Vicky was injured, and even still now, although there were many programs for Vicky, and there are many more now, there was nothing for her family at all. And a traumatic thing like that affects the whole family.
I take my medication like I'm supposed to. I watch what I eat, but no matter what, every night I still get woken up or getting shooken up at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning with spasms. And there's nothing. We
know that the one good intervention for spinal cord injuries is something called peer counseling. Talking to someone else who has been where you are now.
Suicide seems like the easy way out, and that's the problem with it. It is the easy way out.
And so what we tried to create was something in the nature of a virtual support group for families of people with spinal cord injuries. There are a lot of faces, and the idea is to find a face with a history, a little bit of history, that matches your family's own history so that you can listen to their answers to very specific questions about coping with a spinal cord injury and hear what they have to say. There are 48 questions that we ask. We've shot more than 100 people, and then we had to edit the interviews, pick the best answers to the questions, and put them up on the web. It was a long process. So finally, in May of 2011, so you could say four years till we got up on the web.
Now we're in a better place to where this is what I say 3 years out, where we actually, talk like partners about stuff.
We tried very hard to keep all of the answers really short. We made the questions very specific. There are probably, of the more than 1,000 answers on the website, there probably aren't 25 that are more than a minute long, so that the answers are quite specific and they deal with specifically the things that families have to deal with when a traumatic injury like this happens.
Across the aisle from me, Gene Sisco, film critic of the Chicago Tribune.
And this is Roger Ebert, film critic of the Chicago Sun-Times. Now, in addition to Taps, Roger and I will be reviewing Taxi Zum Klo, a controversial West German film about a homosexual school teacher.
I created a television show a long time ago that people tell me now changed the way Americans talked about the movies. And I used to say, oh, nonsense, what a high-flown thing to say. But now it's been, 36 years, a long time. And I think it is true. I know Roger thinks it's true, and I think it is true. That isn't what we set out to do. And I would say that with Facing Disability, the results, we still have to see how it affects people. In terms of real satisfaction, if this proves to be helpful to people, really helpful, it'll be the most important thing I've ever done.